Today we are talking of linear equation, and it's very important that we understand this topic very well. So when we talk about equation, I'll promise the students after this lesson, every student will be able to solve questions on linear equations. Once again, I'm Richmond. So linear equation actually talk about mathematical statement involving equal sign. Mathematical statement involving equal sign. So whenever you see any mathematical statement involving equal sign, is an equation. So let's take an example and see 2x plus 4 is equal to 7. This is an example of linear equation because of the equal sign. So this is mathematical statement, but it's involving equal sign. So we call this an equation. Let's also say that x plus 3 equals 10 is example of equation because we are talking about statement involving equal sign. So another example, we can give 3x plus 7 equal to 22 plus 19x. Is also an example of equation. So let's try and see how we find true set of equations. Very important that we learn how we can find a true set of equation. Let's take the first one and then try. So let's say 2x plus 4 is equal to, let me use 8. Okay, let me use 8 here. And then we are finding a true set. When I say find a true set, it means that we want a value of the variable that will satisfy the equation. So let's do something here. So the display, we need to group like tens. So we maintain our 2x here, and then we write our 8 here. 4 is a whole number without any letter attached to it, so we move it to where the 8 is, and because it's a positive number, when it crosses the equation it becomes negative, so get minus 4 here. 2x is now equal to 8 minus 4, give us 4. And then in dealing with equations, we divide both sides by the same quantity. So if you want to make x the subject or want to solve for x, we divide here by 2 and we divide here by 2. So 2, we divide with 2 and have x is equal to 2. So we're talking about finding the true set. The true set now can be written as, we say, let's continue here. We say the truth set of the equation is, put it in this bracket, x, said that x is equal to 2. This is a true set. How? Because we want to know that the value of x, when you put it in the equation, it will satisfy the equation. Let's try and prove this using the true set here. If actually x is equal to 2. Let's use this one as our equation 1. X plus 4 is equal to 8 as our equation 1. Let's use 2x is now equal to 4 here, because 8 minus 4 will give me 4 as our equation 2. And let's look at something. So if the true set is 2, it means that it will satisfy the equation if you put it in the equation. So let's put 2 in the first equation and see something. So we have 2, put 2 replaced by x plus 4 is equal to 8. 2 times 2 give us 4, 4 plus 4 give us 8, and 8 is equal to 8. It means that 2 satisfy the equation, meaning 2 is a true set. Let's check the second equation and see. If I have 2x equal to 4 here, let's substitute x, which is 2, into this equation and see. 2 and I put 2 here is equal to 4, so 4 is equal to 4. So it means that x satisfies the equation as the true set. So here we are moving to the next means of solving an equation, and it's by solving linear equation by balancing method. Solving linear equation by balancing method. Balancing method. So we have a general way or a general means of solving every linear equation, but we also have a means of solving a linear equation called the balancing method. So with the balancing method, some rules that you need to know, I'm not ready to read them, I'll just say them, is that one, you have to add the same quantity to both sides of your equation. So add the same quantity, and then another step is also that you subtract the same quantity from both sides of your equation, and then you multiply both sides of the equation by the same quantity, and then when necessary you also divide both sides of the equation by the same quantity. So let's take an example on balancing of solving linear equation using balancing method. 5x minus 3 is equal to 3x plus 7 here. In a balancing method, all that we need to do is that we are trying to eliminate some of the numbers from the equation. So with this, we want to eliminate 3x from the equation. What do? We subtract 3x from this equation, and then when we subtract 3x from this equation will be dealt with, to go away. So whatever we do here, as the rule says that subtract the same quantity from both sides of the equation, we subtract 3x from here and subtract 3x from here. So we have 5x minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 3x minus 3x plus 7. Now we subtracted 3x here and subtract 3x here. We've not done anything because we don't change it. We are maintaining the same thing because we did the same thing here, we did the same thing here. So 3x will cancel 3x, and the 5x minus 3x will give me 2x minus 3 is equal to 7 here. So I have 2x here is equal to negative 3, cross the equal sign, become plus, so get 7 plus 3. So my 2x is now equal to 10 here. And then the rule also says that divide the same quantity. So divide this, our equation by the same quantity. So divide here by 2 and divide here 2 by 2. 2 cancel 2, leaving x, 10 over 2 will give me 5. So we say that our x is now equal to 5. So finally the truth set, we say the truth set of our equation is x set that x is equal to 5. Thank you. Okay, this is our second tutorial, and then we want to know the general steps for solving any equation. And with this method, anybody at all can solve every linear equation that he or she is given. So let's talk about the steps or the rules that we need to know. First one is that you should check for fractions in your equation. If you have a fraction in the equation, make sure that you find the LCM of that fraction, and then you multiply through the equation to get rid of the fraction. Let's say you have 1 on 2x plus 4 is equal to, let's say, 3. Here we have only one fraction here, and then when you have only one fraction in the equation, the LCM becomes the denominator of your fraction, and this is the denominator of this fraction. So we multiply through by the LCM, which is 2 here. So we multiply the equation 2 by LCM 2, so 2 times 1 over 2 x plus 4 times 2. We use the 2 to multiply everything that we see in the equation to equal to 3 times 2 here. So our 2 will cancel the 2 and left with 1 times x, right? 1 plus 8, 4 times 2 gives us 8 is equal to 3 times 2 gives us 6. So we see that x is now equal to 6, and then this positive crosses to where the 6 is and becomes negative 8, and then x is finally equal to minus 2. So you need to deal with every fraction that you see. When it's a fraction, you make sure that you cancel or you find the LCM of the fraction and then you multiply through to get rid of it. Let's take another example. If I have 1 on 2 x plus 4 is equal to 1 on 3 x plus, let's say, 5. This is example of equation involving fractions, and then you need to find the LCM of the denominator. And then this is the denominator of this fraction, this is the denominator of this fraction. All that you need to do is that when you see that the denominators, this denominator can divide itself, I cannot divide the other denominator, and the other denominator can divide itself, I cannot divide the other denominator. What we do is that we multiply them to get the LCM. So 2 and then 3. It means 2 cannot divide 3. Neither 3 can divide 2. So we say that the LCM is the multiplication of 2 and then 3. So our LCM is equal to 6. So we multiply the equation through by 6. So we multiply here by 6 on 2x plus 4 times 6 is equal to 6 times 1 over 3 x plus 5 times 6, like this. So we want to get rid of the fraction. So 2 goes into 6 3 times x, get that 3x plus 4 times 6 will give us 24 square. 3 will cancel 6 and we get 2. 2 times x will give us 2x plus 5 times 6 will give us 30. So that's what we have now. So let's group like terms. Group like terms mean, and always I advise you that we group all the numbers with letters at the left hand side of the equal sign. So let's maintain it x here and bring 2x here. So 2x will come here, because positive cross the equal sign, it becomes negative. It's equal to 30, write it here, and positive 24 here. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes negative. So we have minus 24 here. So 3x minus 2x will give us x, which are equal to 30 minus 24 will give us 6, like this. We are continuing from where we ended the other day, and then today we're talking about the types of equation and how we can tackle them and solve them very simply. So we want to tackle what they call the type 1 equation, and when we talk about type 1, we talk about all the equations with the letters at one side of the equal sign. So when you have your equation, an equation in such a way that the variable attached to the number or the letter attached to the number is at one side of the equal sign, we call it type 1. So let's take example of type 1. We can have x plus 4 is equal to 11. This type 1 because the variable x is at only one side of the equal sign. Let's see another example. 3x equal to 10. It's also example of type 1. Let's say 4x is equal to 19. It's also example of type 1. You can say that 4 is equal to 10x. It's also example of type 1. For the type 1, we need the variable to be at one side of the equal sign. So the type 1 is not any difficult equation at all. So let's try and see and take one or two examples on the type 1 and see how we can solve them. 2x is equal to 10 here. Let's try and find the truth set of this equation. All that we need to do is that we divide both sides by the same quantity. So let's divide here by 2 and divide here 2 by 2. 2 goes into 2, 1 and 11x here equal to 2 goes into 10, 5 times. And I said that how we write the truth set is very important, because the truth set say that is a number of x. When we substitute into the equation, it will satisfy the equation. So we say the truth set is now x. It said that x is equal to 5, meaning this one satisfies the equation. When I place 5 in the equation, if I place 5 here, 5 times 2 give me 10, meaning the equation becomes it will satisfy the equation. Let's take another example and then try to also find the truth set. Let's say 10x is equal to 20. These are very simple questions that we can meet it everywhere, and then when you see it, you solve it in a simple form. So this one, we also do the same thing. We divide both sides of the equation by the same quantity. So divide here by 10 and divide here by 10 because we want to solve for x, the variable x. So 10 goes to 10 and you have x here equal to 10 goes to 20 2 times. So our truth set of this equation becomes that x said that x is equal to 2. This is the truth set of this equation. So moving on to another type, and we call that is the type 2. So move on to the type 2. And the type 2 is very simple. It's similar to the type 1. By the type 2, we have the letters or variables at both sides of the equal sign. Example, let's say 2x plus 4 is equal to 10x plus 6. This is a type 2 equation because we have x, 2x here, the variable x is here, 10x here, the variable x is also at the other end of the equal sign. We call this a type 2 equation. So let's try and see if we can solve this one and make x the subject. So we have 2x plus 4 is equal to 10x plus 6. This one we do same thing. I advise you always that keep the variables or the numbers with the variable or letters at the left hand side of the equal sign. So let's maintain the 2x here and follow 2x, and let's bring 10x to where the 2x because we're grouping like terms. So 10 becomes 10 negative 10x because it's positive here, and a positive number crossing the equal sign becomes negative. Equal to, now 10 has crossed to this place, so left with only 6 there, write it there. 4 from the left hand side of the equal sign is crossing to the right hand side and becomes negative. So 2x minus 10x will give us negative 8x, which is now equal to 6 minus 4 will give us 2 here. So let's divide both sides by negative 8 and divide here by minus 8. Minus 8 will deal with minus 8 and 11. X is equal to 1 on 4. Minus 1 on 4 because 2 goes to itself 1, 2 goes to 8 4 times and have 1 over 4. So now the truth set of this is now this. X said that x is equal to 1 on 4 and it's negative. We are continuing. Another example, this is example 2, is a type 2 type of equation, and then let's try and then find the truth set of this type of equation, which is type 2 type. So here, let's try and group like 10. So we place on 3x here, and then you send a 5x to where the 3x and it becomes negative 5x here. You bring your equal sign. Now 5 has crossed. Then with 6 here, write a 6 here, and then 5 is crossing the equal sign to the right hand side and it becomes plus because it is negative here. So 3x minus 5x will give us minus 2x equal to 11. So you know 6 plus 5 gives us 11. Divide here by negative 2, divide here by minus 2. So I can get my x now equal to 11 on 2 minus, and we can say that we can change this one to a mixed fraction. It will be minus 5 whole number 1 on 2. Exactly. Thank you. We are talking about linear equation, and then we are on a type 3. And a type 3 is nothing but than equation involving brackets. So my advice is that how you remove the bracket. Whenever you meet a bracket, you see a bracket in the equation, try to expand a bracket to remove the bracket. You expand the bracket. When you expand, you remove the bracket. So let's take example and see something here. You have 3 into bracket 4x plus, let's say, 2 is equal to, I want small values, so let's take small values so that our work will be difficult. Alright, so this is a bracket here, and then you have to expand this bracket. Expand the bracket means that use the number outside the bracket, which is 3, to multiply the elements inside the bracket. So 3 will multiply 4x, so right? 3 times 4x. You bring the operation sign, which is plus, and the 3 will come and multiply 2 again. So 3 times 2, like this is not equal to 4. Let's go. So 3 times 4x gives us 12x plus 3 times 2 gives us 6 is not equal to 4, like this. So let's group like terms. Grouping like terms, you have 12x equal to 4, and then 6 will put the equal sign to the right hand side of the equal sign becomes minus 6 because it's positive here. So we have 12x equal to 4 minus 6, and we get minus 2 here. Let's divide both sides by 12 to get x because we are solving for the variable x. So this is by 12. So now we have x is now equal to negative 2 on 12 and it's 1 on 6 negative. Okay, so this is actually how we deal with the type 3. Let's take another example of the type 3. Another example of the type 3. Let's take it here. So let's put 2 into bracket 5x plus 6 is equal to, can get 3 into bracket x plus 3, like this. And then we are solving for x. So let's expand the bracket. 2 times 5 give us 10x. 2 times 6 give us plus 12. So we've expanded the bracket and then we remove the bracket. When we expand, we remove. Equal to 3 times x give us 3x plus 3 times 3 will give us 9. Very simple. So let's try and then make group like terms. So 10x here, and then we move 3x to where the 10x is, get minus 3x because it's positive here. Crossing the equal sign become negative. It's equal to, now 3 has been moved to this area, so you now left it 9. Write a 9 there, and then the 12 to move to where 9 is and becomes minus like this. So 10 minus 3 will give us 7x is now equal to, and then 9 minus 12 give us minus 3, like this. Okay, so we want to make as a subject, so divide here by 7, divide here by 7, and have my x is now equal to minus 3 on 7. We are continuing from where we ended the other day, and today we are talking about type 4 and how you can solve the type 4 equation. Type 4 is a type of equation which involves a fraction. Sometimes students see fraction in the equation and they don't know what to do. So we want to arrest this problem and see how we can tackle it. So let's see that you have 1 on 3x plus 2 is equal to 1 on, let's say, let me take 5x plus 4. For this type of equation, all that you need to do is that we need to find the LCM. And I always advise students that when you have a fraction, we find the LCM from the denominators. So these are the denominators of the fraction. And whenever the denominators are such a way that one of the denominators cannot divide itself and divide the other, those denominators can find their LCM by multiplying them. So now the LCM of 3 and then LCM of 3 and then 5 is now equal to 3 times 5, which will give us 15. So all that you need to do is that you multiply the equation 2 by the LCM, which is 15. So we say 15 multiplied by 1 over 3x plus 15 times 2 is equal to 15 times 1 over 5 plus 15 times 4. Okay, so 3 equals to 15 how many times? So this is how we are. So now 3 goes to 15 5 times. So 5 times x will give us 5x plus 15 times 2 give us 30 is equal to, here 5 will go to 15 3 times x will give us 3x plus 15 times 4 is 60, like this. So we are grouping like terms, and grouping of like terms, please let's always let the numbers with the variable be at the left hand side of the equal sign. So we write 5x here, and then this is 3x, so 3x will come to this place equal to 60, and 30 will move to where the 60 is and becomes minus 30. 5x minus 3x will give me 2x, which is equal to 60 minus 30 is 30. So we divide here by 2, divide this place by 2, and then we get, let's continue from here. So we get x is now equal to 30 over 2, which is 15. So this is actually how we solve the type 4 equations. Okay, this is question 2 on type 4 equations. It's very nice. So let's try and see how you can also solve. Because the previous question I said that whenever you see the fraction and the denominators in such a way that one of the denominator cannot divide itself and divide the other one, or cannot go into itself and then also go to another one, we multiply the denominators to get our LCM. But we have a situation whereby you meet a particular fraction in which one of the denominator can divide itself and then the other denominator can also divide it perfectly without any remainder. So with this question like this, we can see that 2 can divide itself perfectly, and then 2 can also go into 4. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is also 2. So we can see that these are a type of fraction in which we need to be careful when we are dealing with them. So here we can just say that the LCM is equal to 4, because 2 can go into 4 and then 4 can also go into 4. So 4 is the LCM. So we multiply the equation by the LCM, which is 4. So 4 times 1 over 2x plus 4 times 4 is equal to 4 times 1 over 4x plus 3 times 4, like this. 2 goes into 4, 2 times x gives us 2x plus 4 times 4 is 16 is equal to 4 goes to 4, cancel it, and then there will be 1x here, x plus 3 times 4 is 12. So we are grouping like terms. We send x to where the 2x's and we come minus equals to, this is 12 here minus 16 there. So 2x minus x is x, which is now equal to, and 12 minus 16 gives us minus 4. So this is the solution for this type 4 equation. Thank you.